off of this turtle. They've got complete control of it.
He dives back.
Dives in forward just to buy some time.
Wow.
He's still going to be alive. The revitalized. He'll back up. He jumps back in. Takes Kirk out. Amidst it all, and another turtle secured. What is going on here? Onyx, I think, is just even surprised themselves.
That was way too much, man. Sanford dove back in with 20% HP.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
Yeah, and you know what happened after? JP used the AOG, and then Sanji, he was like, let me join in on the action.
Yeah.
Raging Sandstorm with a flicker. And Onyx, it felt like they weren't really looking forward to that play. They got surprised.
Surprise. That was a huge surprise play here. TLPH is exactly what we know Sanford for, that X factor, that out of nowhere play. Even with like really big, bulky XP laners, that is why he is one of the world, if not the world's best Yuzhong player.
Yeah.
Again, why JP's so good too. You know, that Revitalize playing a part in that role of keeping him up, keeping him healthy. Sanford, this is one of the things that you see from him consistently, you know, just how much of a, I guess, efficient XP laner he is throughout the course of the game, from the early game all the way to the very end, and I think that's what makes him so deadly against him, just alone in the lane, but then when it comes to those early skirmishes, those team fights, it's hard to keep track of him.
Oh, Severo.
Severo jumps in, what is going to be used here? Onyx, are they going to want to choose this fight? Super Prince goes in with a beacon, there's an AOG just coming off. They're going to go in, this could be a kill though for JP, popping the real Revitalize, he's still going to go.
Alive!
Even with the Soul Sever, Onyx can't just get a kill, and now Sanji rotating here to go ahead and support this. They will get a turret though.
Look at mid. Look at mid.
Oh my god.
Look at mid.
They're doubling down on mid. And I don't know if that's a fair trade, man. You gave up your jungle security for a top tier turret.
That's definitely not fair. I mean, Onyx, even though it felt like they were the ones forcing, they weren't able to fully punish the Claude top side, and then they lost mid. Mid lane is so important this match because now TLPH, they get access to both the side lanes.
Yeah, like you said, Midnight, TLPH is one of those teams that if they are losing something on the map, or it seems like losing something,
in the mid lane.
It's true. The territory definitely is going to start shrinking very, very soon, especially when Carl TC gets those level advantages early on. A free flicker here.
I mean, it's Carl TZ, man. Might as well just flicker to be. It feels that way.
Yeah, because of the fact that TLPH was also playing off map. Nobody was showing mid. JP was in the bush. Kirk had no idea where everybody was on the side of TLPH. So the moment he saw Phantom Steed and then the name Carl TZ, might as well go flicker out.
These are those games where you just want to turn off the names.
Yeah.
I think that will help a lot.
Just change it to Leo Mord and you know, Tina. Oh, we can't do that.
There is an option to remove the game
Is there?
name, right?
Is there? I don't know.
No, there isn't. No.
We're thinking of a different game. All right, fighting for this Lord already. Black Dragon form going to be used even at JP at half health. He can pop the Revitalize if he needs it, but I don't know if they're going to go for the Void Wall! So close from Severo on the SOD, but Lord's still secured by Team Liquid. Now going for the fight as Brusco falls. They're still looking for more. Now Kirk, he's punching his way to take out Sanford. So at least a 1-for-1 trade, but Kirk could be in trouble now. He's got some shields to work with, but it's not enough as he'll fall. Severo on the the other side of the map to just push in a Phantom Steed. They're going for more. They're going to go for King Kong, but not before he takes one with him. It's Carl Teasy to clean up the fight.
Teddy?
Oh, Super Fritz.
He's in trouble.
He's in between two turrets. He should be safe. The Lord was dealt with by Severo.
Okay.
Oh, Super Fritz. Oh!
Oh, not safe. Not safe at all.
Yeah, I was about to say good counterplay from Onyx at least, even though TFPH mounts it. Oh, that's
Severo shows up. He's able to get Teddy, but no! He's still working because Severo turns us around! He shuts down the GOAT Carl Teasy!
What a counterplay from Severo! The pressure lives up to his name. I was gonna say earlier TFPH overextended a bit. Sanford died, but Sanji and Kartizi played well to cover for each other, got more kills, but even though they were getting kills, they were being punished by King Kong. And then Severo was able to clean up the Lord. And then after that, TFPH tried to look for more kills, and then the Moskov appeared. We've said this so many times in the regular season. You do not get to overpressure against Severo because he can punish.
Yeah, he is the pressure. He just knows how to deal with it.
Yep.
And finally, Onyx is showing us why they chose the Moskov over the Ascension in this game. Severo can do stuff like that. He was doing it in the regular season. All the superhero landings in the perfect time, saving Onyx just when he thought everything was lost.
Man, down from almost getting the Lord in the Spear of Destruction, down to, handling it, pushing that wave up top, getting the tier 2 down, and then showing up for that fight to get a double. Like, if that doesn't reiterate the fact of what we mentioned back on day one of right now, the Indonesian player for Onyx Philippines is just making things happen and sometimes carrying the team. This is what's happening right now. He's bought them enough time.
Yeah, and now he's bought the Wind of Nature. So this is a big problem for TFPH. You have to outplay a mechanically gifted Severo on his signature Moskov with a Wind of Nature. So TFPH have a lot of layers to go through against Onyx.
I can smell the outplays. I'm waiting for it, right? Like, you can enable so much with Wind of Nature, especially the majority of them are physical damage.
Yeah, and the reason why I say outplays because majority of the damage dealers on TFPH are all physical. And this is also the item that dropped Aura Gaming back in day number 1. One outplay might spell your doom, even though that was a different hero, same idea.
Yeah, it is a 2-0-1 Moskov as well. Now, no cross map, no problem. We're gonna try to fight it out as a 5v5. At least that's what Onyx is thinking right now. They're looking for it. Sanford's up on front, still has that Black Dragon.
Oh, Sanji! Oh, the flicker!
Hey, yeah, flicker burned. Flicker burned. Severo doesn't have that. That's crucial. So he's gonna have to rely on Brusco potentially here. Kirk doing the work.
Okay.
Taking some resources, at least from Carl Teasy, but the space for this Lord is what they're looking for.
That's a decent cut. He can split that top side. And it will force a reaction from TL here.
Oh, they're going up. They're going up top.
Oh, they are going up top. Kirk's still there though. Are they gonna try to spawn him out?
DOG.
He's got the purple ball, mid lane, gonna be the focus. Black Dragon form to use as well from Sanford.
He used up all the rolls.
They just want to push Onyx off of this. There's a push down bot as well.
Wow.
Good waves
All right.
for Onyx. Now they're gonna start up the Lord here. They make quick work to clear it. Kirk goes to push on the off lane to put the pressure there. Kirk, he'll push that turret down. Severo. Masanji has a raging sandstorm. They got to deal with Kirk. Kirk gets a turret. A great move there. They're keeping TLPH guessing already. Lord's gonna go for a reset though. This might just break out into a fight. Sanford still the base. They come in. They're looking for Carl. Onyx will be able to get one. They're looking for more. It's the lead. Here's Severo. Pop the Wind of Nature. Still alive, and they'll collapse down on the cavalry under the tier 2 turret, wiping them out.
Onyx finds the golden opportunity to split push. TLPH, the cavalry was confused, but the super family is pushing the base.
If there's a liquid stampede, we gotta figure something out for that for Onyx, because what was that?
That was an Onyx flash if I've ever seen one. They took TLPH by surprise, complete outmaneuver, and Kirk was at the helm.
I mean, there were a lot of doubts with this Moscow pick. They could have gone the Eastern Shin. They could have gone the undefeated route. But no, they went with the mechanical route. They went with the pressure. They went with Savero.
Oh man, that was so genius to see how they played that. You think it's just the Mozgov that can push across the map? Well, hell, when you got Kirk doing a play like that, making a move on the off-lane turret, at the same time you have a wave to deal with, that puts you in a very susceptible position if you're Team Liquid. The rest of the guys around the Lord trying to face off against Onyx.
Yeah. That one outplay on the bottom side allowed for all these things to happen. It opened up the game for Onyx and the standard Emma. The pressure lives up to his name. Savero is our game MVP with an amazing performance on the Moscow 206. 80% kill preservation. And again, one outplay led to the other. Allowed the split push for the top side, and the wind of nature problem for TLPH proved to be too much.
Yeah, it was too much, especially since you have a lineup that will specialize in physical damage, like you pointed out right there. Valentina just there mainly for crowd control. You can't really use sustained damage on that Val, so now that was a big problem that had to be solved, but TLPH did not have enough time to fix it.
Oh man, I feel like this was foretold at one point because we were talking about how, you know, you get all your power picks if you're Onyx in this game. You're facing, match point, and you go for your best, and it just so happens also to be a hero that Savero was introduced on to a lot of the people that had just started tuning into MPL Philippines. You see the same thing happen here. I swear he's the best damn Mozgov right now in MPL Philippines. You don't see this from the other gold laners right now, like to be able to have this kind of impact.
Yeah, and again, it's all risky, right? Like if you look back to the draft, they gave Liquid all the comforts, a very fast tempo lineup, all just because they wanted to get their own comfort picks, play the late game, duke it out, micro battle. It's insane that we see Onyx capabilities push to the limits. And yeah, they're pushed to the limits, but because they can definitely do that against even the likes of TLPH, where one outplay, one mistake that they see from TLPH, they do the same thing. They've gotten an inch, they push it to a mile.
Yeah, and this time around was they got the earlier, so the inches value, basically, I think that's exponential, right? Like, they got the first blood on Teddy. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
They were able to get that momentum, use it into the mid, force a situation like this where Kirk was finally the biggest threat on the map, and Carl Teasy could not ignore it.
Yeah, there was, I almost think after watching that for Carl Teasy, he probably had to remember, like, oh yeah, I'm not the Baksha anymore. Like
he's slower.
He's a little slower, not as tanky. But it was also just, again, it wasn't even down to that. It was just Onyx really knowing their composition strength here. They were able to play around it. TLPH definitely gave them a run for the money, though, for the early fights, those early skirmishes, the early objectives. You see there, they secured the 3 turtles.
Yeah.
And so they had control, especially early to mid-game, but Onyx knew the way to dissect that composition when it really mattered, and that's kind of what we saw unfold throughout especially the late game there.
Yeah, and I would say, though, like, this is what mortalizes teams like TLPH. You still have to respect that, right? Like, when they picked up the God of Gacha, we saw the faces of a lot of, like, Liquid players. It felt like they didn't have a lot of pressure in mid, but Caldies was able to, give some form of control in the trio mid, just to be able to, like, slow the game down against Onyx, because Onyx were playing both side lanes, but even then, they didn't have all the tools in the world to deal with the Zushin, the Khalid, so they had to force a lot of things on the side of Onyx, and it came down to Sanjay using that Raging Sandstorm to bait out a flicker from Savero, but even then after that, it felt like Onyx didn't react at all. They were just so calm, so collected, because they knew they could just play the map, they could play split pressure, because TLPH, they don't have the best of heroes to deal with the split push.
And I like an Onyx that's cool, calm, and collected. They're not bowing to the pressure. They can make better decisions. And in this game, the smallest decisions really, really matter, especially at the highest level of MLBB.
Yeah.
They made it time and time again, which is very impressive. Again, this is the Onyx that we knew in the regular season. The Onyx that slowly built up Savero to become this really scary monster on almost any hero at this point, right? Like, I don't know a bad hero for Severa at this point.
Oh man, I wonder if we'll get to see him play the YSS or not, or you know, so far for the series, it's not that it's been bad or anything, but when he's had the Claude, obviously he's had a really difficult time activating the Claude just because of the nature of the team composition and everything else. But you know, in this case, like I said, it's what Onyx has showed us they're capable of doing. It's just in a way that, you know, if they bring a different kind of draft out, if they get their power picks again, depending on what the draft looks like for Game 4, then there's some adjustments that can be made. I think the same is going to happen for TLPH. Like, they've really up to this point, and only towards a certain specific point in history where they truly tested. And so now, you know, we see this with TLPH a lot, where it's like, all right, you poke the bear a little bit. Now they're angry, you know, and you can expect them to play that way in Game 4.
He'd know all about it.
Right, that's right.
If you do that, he gets angry as well. So
shout out to my bear bros out there.
very good observation here from a bear himself. So, wow. Well, you know what, the audience, I can see all smiles around them because they know that we are not going to go home with a sweep.
Yes, sir.
Tickets are going to be very, very stonks today.
Maybe we even get to see 5 games.
Oh,
Maybe next game,
Onyx wins.
Onyx gets decent shin. Because you know what? This is Teddy's first loss in Claude.
oh no, the win streak is over.
Yeah,
The
he was-
MMR.
What was he? 14-0? Now he's 14-1.
Yeah, 14-1.
The MMR is gone.
So the 4,018 MMR that Teddy has is now down to 3,912.
That's a big hit. That's a big hit.
That's a minus 100.
Yeah, so now maybe, you know, if you can do it, Teddy, maybe try to punch back there. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. For now, you guys, we all need a breather here. So let's go ahead and throw it over to the host. We have some very interesting people all around,
Yeah, all around,
who joined
actually.
us today.
Yeah.
And I think our hosts are going to talk to a few. What's that? That's very familiar.
You're gonna know in just a bit. You're gonna know.
That's very
Oh, say,
familiar.
wait, what was it? What was it?
No, I'm not gonna do
Yeah, it's not gonna
I
do
didn't
it
get to see it.
again.
I just still don't know.
If you know what that means,
Burrito?
what we're talking about. But
Burrito?
yes. But MSU. So these are some of the teams that are definitely gonna be seen here. A lot of them are getting locked in, bro.
Wow, look at all the teams qualified for like wild card over here.